Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I want to welcome you again to Mogbede Radio TV. This is The Perspective. My name is Abiola Laifa, and I'll be the host for today. All right, so today's the Democracy Day in Nigeria, and we want to wish every Nigeria happy Democracy Day. So today's June 12th. Remember, and we still have the good memories of June 12th and what it stands for our country. So today we're looking at a very important topic, and this is a topic that cut across Nigeria. So, and it's a topic that we've chosen very carefully because of how big the issue is. So today we're looking at the pandemic rate of road accident in Nigeria, how to avert further disasters. We do have a few gentlemen that's joining me today as guest and discussant. So currently we have Mr. Julius Amadi.
Thank you.
House. Hello, you're welcome, sir.
Thank
we
you,
also
sir.
have our great Mr. Chris Osayiwu in the studio today that will be going through these topics and questions to address this issue. Because what we have for here is for change. So we're here for change, and change is what we advocate. So everyone who loves change, everyone who loves to see improvement in our dear country, Nigeria, please be our guest in the studio today and enjoy this program. So for you to listen to us wherever you may be all over the world, please go to YouTube. We are available on YouTube. Our channel is called Mogbede Radio TV. So if you type in Mogbede Radio TV, you'll be able to connect on YouTube. Also, if you type in on Facebook Live, Mogbede Radio TV, we're also available. We also have an app, so you can download our app. It's available on the Android market. Please visit and download the app. It just makes the whole process easier for you and to listen to us anytime you want to. Our website is www.radio.mogbede.co.uk. The website once again is www.radio.mogbede.co.uk. So this is a weekly program. The program starts from 12 and it runs through to 1 p.m. We do strictly a studio program for the first 3 weeks. So, but we did the fourth week will be the one where audience can also log in on the Zoom call, where you can participate, ask questions, and also contribute to the discussion at hand. But today, our discussion is very, very important, and is a discussion we hope to be able to do justice to today. So we're looking at pandemic rate of road accident in Nigeria, how to avert disaster. So I'm going to start because of our time, and I'll be calling on Mr. Chris for the first today to help us look at this issue. We'd like to know Mr. Chris a little bit and also talk about his perspective in relation to his current rate, the current rate of road accident in Nigeria. Tell us about yourself and your perspective about Nigeria roads in relation to his current rate of road accident. Thank you so much, sir. I think
Hello, thank you very much, Mr. Host. And I did what?
Yeah, and we couldn't hear you, but it's okay now.
Yeah,
yes.
It's
Can you
okay.
hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you now, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Host. And to our guests, I say thank you for joining us today. My name is Chris Osayiwu, and a regular guest on the show. And I'll be, like the moderator said, we'll be looking at the pandemic rate of road accidents in Nigeria. Just a quick general overview. Personally, I will say on the average, good roads is a no-no in Nigeria as a whole, on the average. In other words, what do I mean by that? If we look at the ratio of the few good roads we have compared to the not that good roads we have, I don't want to use a negative word like bad roads, not that good roads we have, we see that the ratio, there's a really wide gap. So based on that, I will say that we actually don't have good roads in Nigeria. And this can be attributed to a lot of things, which I believe we'll be discussing as the program proceeds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris. That was a good introduction to that topic. So Mr. Chris believes that the road system in Nigeria really needs to be looked into, because at the moment what we have cannot be uh, written home about. This is it needs improvement. All right, so we're going to talk to Mr. Julius. We got Mr. Julius in the house as well, which is, and he's one of our guests, is our regular guest on the show. Mr. Julius, what is your perspective? Please tell us a bit about yourself and just give us a bit of your perspective in relation to the road network in Nigeria. What do you think about it?
Yeah, thank you, Abiola. Thank you, my viewers, and thank you for everyone. My name is Julius Amade. I also actually do a lot of work. I did a lot of work, a lot of research on this particular issue, which is entrenched in the book called Nigerian Democracy, a case study for African governance, to be published soon. In one of the sections, I actually said the importance of road system in Nigeria and why it is important, not for today, for tomorrow to come, which is the future. Yes, generally speaking, people have been complaining of the accident on the road we have, which is very, 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 very bad. But we need to improve it. The only way we can prove it, or how we can prove it, depends on so many factors. I would say, yes, that system needs to change, and people need to be aware of what is on the ground called road system. Now, to go further, we have what they call Federal Road Safety Commission. Federal Road Safety Commission was established in 1988, and they have a lot, and they still have a lot to do for us to reduce the rate of accidents on the road. So that's where I can stop. But further discussions will open up all we need to say about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Julius, so what you're saying is that the Federal Road Safety Commission too needs to be involved in ways to make our roads a bit more motorable, because apparently what we have now, there's a lot that needs to be done to to really improve things.
Yes,
right?
Precisely.
Okay. All right. In that case, let's go to the next question. So this question too is quite very controversial, and is a question that I would want you gentlemen to really look into and see how we can address this issue. So most Nigerian roads are dead traps and not motorable. Do you agree with this assumption? All right, I know we've given a bit of a tip into this question already, but can you just expatiate on this a little bit and let our audience understand how things are in Nigeria? Mr. Chris, yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I will agree that I personally, I agree that our roads are actually dead traps and really unmotorable. And there are a series of reasons for this. First and foremost, to open that up more, if we make reference to the Federal Road Safety Corp, which is the official and authorized commission that looks after the usage of our roads in the country. The last statistics they had, which is the 2019 statistics, as presented on one of our online pages, Niger.com, NigerGist.com. It says that 2019 statistics, I'm quoting now, it says that we have about 4,737 deaths. That is close to 5,000 deaths out of about just below 10,000 road accidents. That's 2019 statistics. This is really, really not a good report. In other words, for every 3 accidents, 1 results to death. And this can be, if we compare this with statistics from other climes, we see that our roads are actually dead traps. And like we said, One of the main reasons is because our roads are not motorable. They are either non-existent, or those ones that are in existence, they are not motorable due to lack of maintenance. And the fault cannot be placed on a particular side or entity alone. It's a combination of both the government, the system itself, that's the people, and those people who have been authorized to look after these roads or to maintain the sanity of the road. So looking at it, and those who are authorized, Federal Road Safety Corps, like I said, the FEMA, who are the people who are supposed to be maintaining it, and then we look at the users themselves, and then the government lack of willingness to actually push forward policies that will change things around. So it's a lot of things. So summarily, like I said earlier before, the roads in Nigeria are actually death traps, even where they exist. Thank you.
Thank you very
That's
much.
what I would say.
Yeah, that's a very good summary of what we have at hand at the moment. So looking at the roads in Nigeria, thinking, can this be improved? Can we do something to really change what we have in place now? Looking at it, because on a daily basis, people are dying, not just on our motorways, but also in the town, in the inner cities, because of the way we drive, because of the rate and the deplorable state of our roads. I want to call on Mr. Amadi. What do you think with regards to this? Are our roads death traps and not
Yes.
motorable? So, yes.
With regard to what you are saying now, first of all, we need to identify who are the road users. We need to identify which people who use the road. And as soon as we identify it, we're able to push on. Now, for example, we have about 7 different road users in Nigeria, namely the pedestrians, the cyclists, the motorcyclists, the children, the pensioners, the disabled people, of course, the animal. Now, these people, how much more do they know about the road markings and road traffics in the country? They just cross the road. Somebody is blind, is just going on the road, and the driver who is coming on the road doesn't even care whether that person is a human being or an animal. He drives. Now, that's one point. Our citizen does not understand or do not know what is called road marks, where to stop, where not to stop. They just move. In England, where we are today, the ordinary citizens knows the traffic signs. They know where to stop, they know how to cross, and people respect it. Now, another point I will mention, which is true, the transport union, which is an outside the government, also affects the road safety corps, in the sense that they don't want to obey the law at all. Nobody obeys the law. All they want to know is to make the money and make the report at the expense of our citizens, at the expense of the road users. It's another point I have identified. Now, in making the marks, in marking out our road system and working on road system, the government needs to do a lot. The government needs to do a lot in terms of education, awareness, by campaigning, having a section in the radio, call it Radio Nigeria, Radio Rivers, whatever. They speak nothing but educating the masses on how to cross the road, on what to identify, on how to use the road. Because the ordinary driver, sometimes some of them don't even have the driving license. In England, you cannot drive unless you have that certificate. You have that license, you cannot drive. And after so many years, your license expires. You need to be retrained in order to get onto the road. It's not just take your car and put on the road. No, it doesn't work that way. Nigeria is progressing, and these changes had to be made known to our road users. The road users should respect the transporters.
Right, I think we might be having a little bit of technical problem with Mr. Julius there. Mr. Julius Amadi, we can't hear you if you can hear us. All right, I think I'll have to go to our next speaker. So while this was going on, we had Mr. Okunola join us, and I'm sure you've been listening to the discussion at hand. So we're looking at most roads in Nigeria are death traps and not motorable. Do you agree with it? From what Mr. Julius has given us so far, I think it's a very, very big issue. So because at the moment now, I mean, I remember when I was trying to do my driving test here. So we had to do theory, which means you understand all all the signs on the road, and also you understand everybody. The animal has got right, all the animals on the street has got right, blind people. I remember that when you see somebody going with a white stick, you know that's a blind person. When you see somebody going with a white stick and a red stripe, then you know that's a deaf person. So all these little things makes us understand that you have to be careful, you know how to drive around them. When you see a motorcycle, you don't go in front of them, especially if they are trying to turn, because they can make decisions very quickly. When you see a child, what to do and how to drive. So these things are not available at the moment in Nigeria. Everybody just gets on the street and is always mad. And on a daily basis, people are killed on a daily basis. What is your take on this, Mr. Okunola? If you quickly introduce yourself and then answer this question for us.
My name again is Olumide Okunola. I lived in Nigeria up to 2003. I was a civil servant in the office of the head of the civil service of the Federation. I was in the Federal Secretariat in Lagos, and I was also in the Federal Secretariat in Abuja. I was in the Federal Civil Service for 18 years. So I traveled when we moved to Abuja from Lagos. So I know a little about the Nigerian roads. I then moved to UK in 2003, where I have been functioning, and I traveled to Nigeria a lot. I will share two experiences with the audience. One, when I was I was 4 years old, and I can still remember vividly. We were traveling. I was 4 years. I was not going to school. It was a preschool then. And that day my aunt came. We were in Ilesha and said she was going to Osogbo. I said I will follow up. We traveled to Osogbo. We were returning back to Ilesha in the evening. Just about 3 kilometers outside Osogbo, our car somersaulted. And what happened? There was a bend towards the Osun Bridge. The driver, there was no sign to indicate there was a bridge. There was no sign to indicate there was a bend. There was no marking on the road. The driver got distracted, and that was it. We somersaulted. I remember this incident vividly. The second one was in Lagos, Surulere. I was driving, it was a Sunday. And just as I was approaching a junction, another oncoming vehicle just drove past me. But for the fact that I was slow in my driving, and what happened at that junction, there was no road marking. There was nothing indicating that, look, when you get to this junction, you have to stop. But for the fact that I have always been a very careful driver, as I was approaching that junction, I stopped, and that made me to avoid head-on collision. Where am I going? Where I'm going is that in Nigeria, our roads, we have, just like you have said, we have no road signs. And this is very dangerous. I have traveled from Lagos to Abuja, to Ibadan, with their new express road that is under construction. And I can tell you, there is no road marking on the way.
Exactly.
Yes, on the way. This was in 2019, the last time I visited Nigeria. No road marking on the road, no road sign. nothing like speed limit.
No.
There was nothing on the expressway that said, okay, this is the speed limit for this road. There was nothing on the road that says you are approaching Shagamu Junction. And coupled with that, we have low quality of work done by road contractors. We have potholes on our roads. In addition to that, there is no education or information. And I can say, in those days, there used to be jingles on the road. There used to be enlightenment. There used to be information. There used to be education through the radio, through the television. And when, like, for example, the expressway that I am talking about, the familiar roads that I have plied, in those days, they would tell you, oh, this is what is going to happen. I mean, in the early 70s, early 80s. But what has gone wrong with Nigeria? And with all these problems now, they are trying to construct new roads. It is not that the roads are bad. Lagos Ibadan Expressway is becoming good. You travel in Lagos, some areas, there are good roads. You travel in Ibadan, there are good roads. You travel from Lagos to Ekiti, there are good roads, but where are the signs?
Where are the signs? Where are the marks?
Where are the signs? Road signs. Where are the road markings? Where are the indicators? There is pedestrian crossing in some places in Lagos. People don't understand what you mean by that pedestrian crossing.
They don't, no.
Yes. So, and these are the problems we have. Thank you, Bella.
Oh, thank you very much. That was a very good analysis and good examples that was given by Mr. Okunola. And I think these are very, very big issues which our government needs to look into. And not just its government only, also the people of Nigeria need to understand. In Nigeria, when they say the road is good, it's only if the road is tarred. That's what we call a good road. Oh, they've just tarred the road. The governor has done very well. Let's clap. Yeah. If we're tying the road, it's nothing.
I agree.
It's nothing.
No.
If you don't have signs, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know where, okay,
when to cross or when not to cross.
Past governor of Lagos State start doing signs on streets saying, oh, this is the Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way. That's not what we need. We need the roads to be properly marked. We need people to know what they're doing and the meaning of this proper marking. I gave an example last week where I went to Maryland and I was in a taxi and the taxi went through red light. When I said, why did you go through red light? So red light is there for police to catch us, to catch motorists. So that's what they think red light is. So it shows that there's no education. People don't understand that red light is to control the road more than anything. If you wait now, I mean, in Lagos, people are in traffic for 5 hours. How do you mitigate traffic for 5 hours? Here, somebody coming from the north knows they have to wait so that somebody coming from the west can pass through. Somebody coming from the east can pass through. So these lights are regulated so that the road can have people at different times so that there'll be smooth journey. But they don't understand. Everybody just want to go boom, 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 boom. Before you know what, everything is jammed up. We have 2 lanes, you convert it to 6. You're all in a hurry to get to the same place. At the end of the day, accident, fatality, and all that. All right, so in the light of that, let's go to the next question because of our time. I know we'll be addressing this a bit more as we progress. All right, so recent report has it that 162 people die from road accident in Nigeria from every 100,000 Nigerian. I will add that this figure has changed now because I'm looking at 2016. This must have gone up quite a lot now. I think someone is saying it's 192 now, close to about 192, 193. So, which means that in Nigeria, road accident, death by road accident is overtaking malaria and tuberculosis in same country. How can we mitigate these pandemic figures? What can we do? I know we've started analyzing it, but where do we take this from here? Mr. Chris, can you please look into this for us?
Yeah, thank you very much, host. There are lots of, it's a really gamut of approaches that can be done, but the ones that cannot be neglected start from workable and effective planning, policies, and implementations that needs to be executed. How do I mean? You see, whatever the outcome we are finding now, it all has roots or foundation from planning. If there is no effective planning, wide consultation, and purposeful implementation, things can never change. You see, during planning, you in very unfortunate that the system that we run a system whereby it's all about party. We have failed to divulge party from governance. So anything we do, the policies that our government runs are heavily influenced by the party. Of course, we know that parties put forward what they will do, and what they say they will do is what they go on to implement. However, once governance starts, consultation should be across all parties. And that is why we see that because consultation is usually not across parties in our system, that's why we see that we find that once a party leaves, a new party comes, it jettisons the previous government policies and start theirs afresh. In so doing, the time is wasted. Cost of design and implementation is hiked up, and at the end, by the time they finish it, nothing is done. You see, so whereas I will take a typical example when there's a new line in the UK, it's called Queen Elizabeth Rail Underground System. You see, that program has started about 8 to 10 years ago. And we all know that there have been a change in party between the Labour and the Conservative. But when the Conservative came up on board, they continued that project. The reason is because during the planning stage and the design stage, everyone was brought on board and everyone agreed on what should be done. So if the party leaves government, any new party that comes up is obliged to carry on what has been designed because they were all party to the design and an agreement, an approval of that project. So, but that is really missing in our system. A new party comes, jettisoning the old policies, the policies of the old party, and then they want to start all over again, and then they want to review the prices, and they want to change everything, and at the end of it all, nothing is done. And where you even have projects that are completed, like roads, for example, we find out that because every party want to start, every government want to start a project and finish it within its time, a project that is supposed to span 5 years, and they started at the 4th year or at the 2nd year of their government. And in order to make sure they complete and commission it and all the fanfare, they have it to themselves, they rush the work. And that is where we have things like road markings, which are usually the finishing touches of every road construction. They abandon it. And another thing is that you actually find that during the design, budgets were made for those road markings. Road markings are never done. So where does all that money go to? It's gone to private pockets. You have barriers that are usually expected to be put in place along highways. They are not put in place. Whereas during the design stage,
those things are there.
Costs are usually allocated to such barriers. At the end, they are not put there. Where does the money go to? Private pocket. So you see, the root causes of all these things, can we really say is the design that are faulty? I will say no. Is it, what about the implementation? That is where the problem is. And the underlying factor why we don't implement fully is because of the corruption in the system. You see, these things are really hampering. Everyone is just for himself, not even for the people who put them there. Once you're in government, you become an island of yourself. So it's very unfortunate, and this really need to be looked at, bringing in professional consultants from all walks of life that are related to road construction, and they should be brought in from across party divides, not just the ruling party alone. If not, things will not change. So there must be a deliberate attempt and sincerity on the part of the leaders to really make sure that they give road networks that will stand the test of time, especially when it comes to construction. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Chris. That was a very elaborate analysis of this problem. And I think it's the fact. I think if you look at the country we all are now, especially in the UK, we do have ministries. Same for Nigeria, we have Ministry of Transportation, we have ministry here. But what I realized is that every contract, everything we decide to do runs through the papers of the minister. And if we're to see ministers are only there really to approve contract and budget after it's all been done by the committee. But in Nigeria, everything runs through Amici, everything runs through the minister. So if that minister goes away or changes, the project stall, and that's it. So, and then another minister comes in, another government comes in, and they have to start their own again, which I think is very stupid and crazy. So a lot of time, contract has been given to contractors, just dies. And there's no accountability. These contractors are not checked, they're not asked, because all of them have shared this money. Because in Nigeria, I used to work with a government contractor when I was in Nigeria. Before the contract is allocated, the government are already sharing, the member of Senate are already sharing, and they already share this money. So if at the end of the day, the contractors are not doing the job, there's nobody to ask them. So a lot of time they give the contractor money to do the job, then they have their cuts from that too. So if contract is not done, who is going to ask? And these people are so powerful. So it's a major, major issue that was not brought up by Mr. Chris. So Mr. Amadi, what is your take on this very peculiar problem?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Abiola. As far as the word you mentioned, corruption, is there, it is difficult to handle the issue because this corruption we've been talking about is what is affecting everything we are doing in Nigeria. It's affecting the politics, it's affecting everybody, is affected. Whatever you do, can you give me my own? But then that's a way we can do it. Now, let me say my own suggestion, how we can do it. The morality of the people of Nigeria has to change. It has to change from the grassroots. Let us say no to corruption. No, I'm not taking corruption. And do the work. Let me do the work. See, let me tell you, when I was coming to this country, the UK, in 1982-81, that's what we call the student sack form. The man who was there, there was nothing like bribe. You have to get the paper complete. You have to get those papers required complete before you will approve it. Now, today, nobody wants to know that.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry, he's married to my sister. Oh, don't worry, we can get there. And things are falling apart.
Absolutely.
And this is the problem. We need to change the orientation. We need people who have that morality to take the country forward. Otherwise, it will not work. Morality is involved. Education is involved. No, don't do this. I won't support you. I will not support you. It's like what is going on today. It's like what is going on. If you don't support it, nobody comes to you. You do and stand on what you stand. Yes, I'm not doing it. If you want to take me, take me. So I don't know how long it will take Nigeria to get that level of morality, which is affecting the country. In England, everybody knows if you are caught with corruption, I don't say it's not there, but if you are caught, that's the end. That's no excuse me dancing with them. You go to court and prove yourself. So that is my take. So the only thing is the people, the Nigerian citizens, has to be morally aware of what they are doing. Yes or no. Yes, I don't do it. I will not do it. Take me to anywhere. That's the point.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that contribution. That was a wonderful one, and it's true. So this cuts across everybody as a Nigerian. I think the major problem we have in Nigeria is that everybody wants to pass the ball. It's not my problem. it's your problem. It's not me, it's your me. If he eats, why can't I eat? It's national cake. Let's share it together. If you can do it, I can do it. So it cut across board that, as a matter of fact, even if you're put in a position of power to correct these problems, if you don't participate in the corruption, you are in serious trouble. A lot of people have been killed. A lot of people have been sidelined, and a lot. So you just, the system is just there to worship and promote corruption. And this is a big problem. So we're going to look at the next question. So I'll let Mr. Okunola look into this, because this is another very big issue, and is a pandemic. So when the last rating WHO did, they said out of 192 countries that was rated, Nigeria is 191. So that shows this is a big problem. That, and in fact, more than a problem, because we have pandemic, which is greater than a problem. So it's a pandemic, the rate at which people are dying. Do you know more people die of accident than even coronavirus that we have now? So people die on a daily basis. Okada riders, I know so many people. You cannot ride bicycle in Lagos. Where do you want to ride it to? You cannot ride bicycle. Even riding Okada, you have to have 9 lives to be able to survive on Okada. Not even moped, small cars. So, Mr. Okunola, how do we address this issue? How can we reverse this dangerous trend?
Thank you very much. I have listened to the last 2 contributors, and while I agree with them partially, I wouldn't agree with them totally, because the problem in Nigeria is not that of policy alone. We have policies and everything, even amongst the states. We have them ready. We have them, even if you say you are changing from, let me put Oyo State, for example. Oyo State was APC under Ajimobi. It is now PDP under Makinde. Some policies that Ajimobi puts there and everything is still there. And Sheyi Makinde is implementing some of them. In Ekiti State, where Fayemi took over from Fayoshe, it was not a total drastic change in terms of policies and everything. If we are talking in terms of continuity, in terms of projects and everything, as it affects road accidents, I would say yes. Now, what is a road accident? What are the causes in Nigeria? If we look at it, road accidents is a very, very serious issue that requires attention, especially in Nigeria. And why do we require this? Going to the question, we have road transportation in Nigeria. We transport most of our things. The road transportation takes 80% of the transportation of things in Nigeria. You want to convey anything from the south to the east to the north, you have to use the road. In the past, there was train. We have train and everything like that, but it was paralyzed. They are just trying to restore it. Air freight, what do you want to transport in terms of air from Lagos to Ibadan or to Akure or to Enugu? So we have to do all these things by road. And why are we having all these problems in terms, which is now a real pandemic issue? And how we can then reverse them? Why are we having them? There are a lot of factors. And I can say there are 3 factors. We have the human, we have the mechanical, and we have the environment. And when we talk in terms, and that is how we can mitigate this thing, because we're talking in terms of how we can reverse this dangerous pandemic. And now we have spoken in terms of policies and everything like that. Let us look at it from an individual perspective. And I will give you a very practical example. I was doing a research while I was at Unilag doing my master's. And I was at a bus station where they were loading from Lagos to Ibadan. There was this loader, they call it Agbero. It was calling loader. It was supposed to be 18-seater bus. And people were sitting in. There was someone sitting inside as acting as the driver that would drive the vehicle while the loader was calling people. Meanwhile, there was a passenger who was also to travel. She had already secured her own seat, so she stayed outside. The actual driver that would drive that vehicle was in a corner drinking beer. Now, by the time the vehicle was full, the loader collected money from all of them. They were now ready to go. The guy that was sitting, pretending to be the driver, now came out and left the steering side. The main driver that had been drinking, they now went to call him to say, yes, the bus is now ready to move.
Right.
But the woman that was, as he was coming and sat by the driver's seat, the woman that was outside that had already secured her own seat observed that and said, oh, are you the one that would drive? He said, yes. What is the problem with that? He said, were you not the one drinking in that place? He said, what does it have to do with it? And everybody said, no. I'm not going with this vehicle.
Yes.
And everybody started coming down from that vehicle.
You see?
And that is the driver that will transport people from Lagos to Ibadan. That was just one of the examples. And that's where I say, human, we have that. Two, we have disregard of road traffic. There is a traffic now. Everybody wants to take one way because you don't want to waste time. You face the oncoming vehicle. When Fashola was the governor of Lagos State, they used to call him Fashola Ewon Straight. Because if the man should catch you taking one way, facing the oncoming vehicle when you are not supposed to do that, the man will first of all take you, when they arrest you, they will take you to Yaba psychiatric hospital that you must have a mental health problem.
Yeah, for assessment.
For assessment. Yes, I am using practical example now. And that is one thing. Then we talk in terms of the drivers.
Yes.
How many people now go for driving tests in Nigeria? They have taken that responsibility to now road safety call. People don't go to do driving tests again. When I did my test in Nigeria, I was doing my A-levels then. I went to a driving site and I used the car, I reversed. There was a VIO that was on the vehicle with me. I failed the first test because he said I was driving on clutch. That was then. The second occasion was when I got my driver's license. Do they have that road test again? No. Every lorry that has money will go to Ikeja, road safety call, give them money, you collect driver's license. Whether you know how to drive or not,
it doesn't matter.
That is one. So then we have impatience and negligence. I can continue and continue. How do we mitigate this thing? Mitigating, there are three circumstances. One, in Lagos have started something, and I don't know whether you will agree. Because I travel a lot to Nigeria, that's why I'm able to give all these practical examples. We have the road maintenance, MOT, insurance, and which has been computerized in Nigeria now. So, for example, if you have to renew your vehicle in Lagos, for example.
Oh, I think we may be having a little bit of a technical problem with Mr. Kulala there. So while that is going, I think these are valid points Mr. Kulala was making, and they are points that we should really take on board, because if we look at the way things are, I think 99% of the time, the major problem we have in Nigeria I think Mr. Kulala just came back. So please, round up because of our time.
Okay. Let me round up. So we talk in terms of, do we maintain our vehicles? That is one, maintenance of that vehicle. In Ibadan, a driver told me that, look, when my brake fails, rather than go and buy an engine oil, I will just, my urine, I'll put it as brake oil. And it works. And that is the vehicle that they will use to transport people. Maintenance of vehicle, that is it.
Hey.
Yes,
wow.
I know. Yeah. Then fatigue. Fatigue in terms of driving. You are driving from Lagos to Abuja. And you are not having anywhere to park on the road. You can't even park because there will be herdsmen in the middle. So you are driving from Lagos to Abuja for good 7-8 hours. You are tired. We have road accidents. We don't have anything like road markings and everything. And even when we have them, and the signs, like the previous speakers have said, Eco Bridge. On the Eco Bridge, we had railings and everything. What did our people do? They were cutting it to make spoons.
Yes.
Yes. They were cutting it to make it. Look at what they are doing in terms of the railway lines now. People have already removed, they have already started removing the rail tracks.
Yes.
What
that,
a mess.
And that is indiscipline from our part. These are the ways in which we can mitigate all these things. Then responsibility, accountability? Is everybody accountable for their action?
Yeah.
Am I accountable for my action? Am I in consideration of another road user? No.
Yeah. No.
Yes, these are the factors we can use in mitigating it. Taking responsibility, being disciplined. Let there be road science and everything. Let there be road education. Let we be able to regulate our speed, overloading of vehicles, maintenance of our vehicles, environment, weather, our tires. When there is rain, when your tire is not good, you are going on the slippery road, it's some assaults.
Yes, it's
that is environmental bad weather. These are all the things we can use in improving construction of our road, improvement in the construction of our road. I will just give you an example. The that's Ikeja Road. When Bola Tinubu was there, they were constructing that road, and people were criticizing it because of the quality and how strong.
Yes.
How strong that road was.
Yes.
They said to him that road will last 15 years. Today, the road is over that time, and the road is still good because of the quality of construction that they did at Ikeja. The quality of construction must be there. Road markings, we should do it. And let us be able to understand consequences of our action. Don't overtake on the wrong side. Let there be traffic lights. Let there be discipline. Then corruption, as the previous speakers have said. Corruption, road traffic worthy. If you say, okay, you are driving on the wrong side, yes, take them. Let there be fine. Let there be consequences for this. Don't just take 500 naira or 20 naira. Let me stop at that. I still have so many to contribute.
All right, thank you very much. I think honestly, what you've said today covers a lot that we're here to discuss today. And I think this says it all. We can see the state of our country. And one problem that I have as a person in Nigeria, as a Nigerian, is that we lack respect for ourselves. We lack respect. We are the most greedy and selfish people that ever lived. Because you can imagine, we are all road users. The railways that you're taking out all the aluminum and all the iron that
Can you imagine?
All the side roads, all the things on the road you're taking out. There was even one video that went viral where these kids packed their Marwa keke, and then we're taking out drain covers from the road. They were taking it just so that they can sell it and make money. Everyone.
You call that poverty? That's not poverty.
Yeah. Well, it's not poverty. It's clearly
no, it's not poverty.
Robbery. The
that
way
is not poverty. That is robbery.
The way we are blaming our leaders, they are taking millions to foreign land. But what you are doing, you are taking the peanut too. So it goes wrong. What you're doing is what they are doing. So we cannot keep blaming. And a lot of, I remember when I was in Nigeria, I was more religious than here. Because when I'm living in the money, I will need God. I don't want to enter one chance. I don't want to enter a car that the tire will explode. I don't want to enter. There was a time in relation to what you said, sir, about going from Lagos to Ibadan and the driver. This driver, we started, it was fine. The next thing he did was that while the journey started, he just brought out one big bottle of Ogogoro and started drinking. Why driving? We talk, excuse me, you cannot do that. You cannot be drinking Ogogoro while you're on the motorway. The guy said, are you a witch? It's only witch that talks like that. Don't worry, are you a witch? We are going to get there. Even when police stopped us and we tried to point that, the police themselves are drunk. Even the police that were talking. They were only interested in 20 naira at the time. They were not interested in, even them were smelling of alcohol. So it's a big problem. But thank you so much, sir, for the contribution so far. We're just going to take a short break. Then when we come back, we'll continue and try to round up as quick as we can. So this is the perspective for people listening to us all over the world. So to join us, we have the link. You can click on Mogbede Radio TV on YouTube Live, Mogbede Radio TV on Facebook Live, or you can log into www.radio.mogbede.co.uk. You can also download our app. So the app is available on the Android market. Please just download Mogbede Radio, and then you can listen to us. We are here 12 to 1 every Saturday. It may drag a little bit more because of how important the discussions we are having are, but we do have fantastic guests who have experience all over the world so that we can discuss this issue. What this program is about change. What do we need to change? We're not here just to diagnose the problem in Nigeria. We are here to offer solutions. And what we need to understand is that without us introducing these solutions into our systems, things will only get worse. If we sit down and say, God will do it, that's the language we use in Nigeria, God won't come down and do nothing. We all have to get involved. By now, I expect after 60-something years of independence, we should have known that God is not going to do anything. He's already done all we need, all he needs to do. Sitting in churches and mosques and shouting every day on God won't change nothing. Our mindset needs to change. Our attitude needs to change. We need to respect ourselves. We need to be accountable. Leaders need to be accountable, and individuals need to be accountable. So for now, we're going to go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll continue. So we're going to stop this now while the break kicks in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mo kọ́kọ́ bá wọn ṣe nígbà náà à ń pè ní báyé báyé.
Mo gbédè o, oyin mọ́mọ́.
Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi dájọ́, wọ́n ní ká má fi ọjọ́ orí wa sí o.
Ọmọ Òṣogbo ni bàbá wa, ọmọ Òṣogbo lèmi náà.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Pẹkẹpẹkẹ ètò káàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ló balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí mo gbede lẹ́tọ̀ ara ọ̀tọ̀ tó balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí ó bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wá fẹ́ sùn nígbọ̀wọ́ abẹ́ fẹ́ polú ọjà nílẹ̀ ẹni àbí lókè òkun ẹ kàn sí wa lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa wọ̀nyí mo gbede ètò ni mo gbede.
All right, thank you so much. And I welcome everyone back to The Perspectives. So The Perspective is a program, is a talk show where we look at events and issues around Nigeria. We try to analyze and we try to advise and help to formulate changes, because looking closely at Nigeria, we realize there's so many things that needs to change. And until we start addressing those issues, until we start seeing the bad as the bad and the good as the good, and how to formulate the good into our systems, things will get worse. It's not going to get better automatically. So here with me today, I've got a few guests that we're discussing several issues. So today I've got Mr. Chris Osayiwu on the line. I've got Mr. Julius Amadi, and I've got Mr. Akinyemi Okunlola that's also helping us to address some of the issues. So today I will be looking at more questions. So we've been looking at the pandemic rate of road accidents in Nigeria, how to avert further disaster. We must say that a lot of Nigerians are currently dying in droves. And in Nigeria, there's the belief that when you die, it's God who takes you. That, God is the one who give and take. But I would say that in Nigeria, categorically, we can see that we are the one taking ourselves. We're the one killing ourselves. If you don't follow rules, if you don't make the roads, if you don't have road signs, if you don't have good cars. I mean, our guests today have analyzed a lot about all these issues. There's no way you're not going to die. You see, we have avoidable debt. I'm going to give an example before we take the next question. In 2018 December, I remember a young man in Lagos. He was working in Lagos. He's from Onitsha. The family is from Onitsha. He bought, apparently he's worked so hard the whole year. Then he bought a Range Rover 2 weeks to Christmas. He got his mechanic to train him. They train him how to drive. He's never driven before. He learned how to drive his Range Rover 2 weeks to Christmas. Then Christmas Eve, he took his wife and 4 children in the Range Rover and was driving to Onitsha to go and show off to his family. 2 weeks to when he went to this trip. You know what happened? He went under the trailer, burned him and all his family alive as a result of that. So how do you justify that? How can we be so, I don't want to use bad word, but how can we take this kind of decision? We just get on the road. I mean, he was in his house when they brought his driver's license to him. You don't need to do nothing, just pay, they'll bring it to you. If you think we are smart by doing things this way, we're only helping ourselves to die. And when the family were praying, they said, oh, God has taken him home. God has not taken him home. His stupidity has taken him home. And also not just him, he's taking his whole family with him. You know, how do you drive and decide to travel that distance? I think it's about 500 miles from Lagos to Onitsha within 2 weeks of driving. Come on. You know, the road you've never driven, the roads are bad, and you took the whole of your family. And these are issues that happen daily. There was a friend of mine that advised recently, the same thing. He bought a car. He just found the car, had money, bought the car, told his mechanic to show him how to drive. Then a week later, he's already on the road. He also had an accident that almost killed him. That was in Lagos. So these things need to be put into perspective when we are doing things. So I'm going to go again to Mr. Chris. Please suggest ways the Nigerian road network and infrastructure can be improved to curtail more casualties. I know we've looked at this issue, but we need to just brush on it just to see how we can advise and how we can begin to implement changes. Mr. Chris, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I believe that we have looked at the physical aspects, which involve the design and implementation. Now, we have to look at the human aspects. I believe that that's the area that the last speaker dwelt more on. The human aspect, which is the road use, which are the road users.
The road users.
So where I would personally like to start from is the issue of offenses and punishment. During policy drafting, right, there are offenses that have been put in place and there are punishments that have been attached to each offense. But how have these things been implemented? Do we have bodies who are there to implement the usage of this, the usage of our roads? We know that though the roads might have gone through some design or construction flaws, but when it comes to usage, we have people like the Federal Road Safety Corps who are there to monitor how users use these roads. There definitely will be offenses that will be committed, and there are punishments attached to these offenses. How much have we been implementing these punishments, these offenses and punishments? Have those people that have been tasked with the duty of making sure that the roads are used properly, have they taken their work seriously? Or like the previous examples that have been given, or they even see people who flout the rules of the usage of our road network, and then they just collect money and let people go away.
Yes.
So we really need to beam our focus on the Federal Road Safety Corps Commission, who are in charge of that aspect. So that way we'll be able to reduce the casualties on our roads, because that's the main things that we are dealing on now. Then another thing is the issue of, this also takes us straight to the issue of insurance. Insurance companies, I believe, they play dual roles in all our road network, both construction, implementation, and usage. What do I mean by that? You see, I believe that our insurance companies they need revamping, especially those ones that does motor insurance. During the construction stages, their suggestions need to be brought into place as well. It has to be taken into consideration so that they give their ideas. And then we make sure that roads, when there are offenses, take for example, there are accidents due to speed, and then there are damages to the road infrastructures. You see, what obtains in the UK that I know of, and even in Europe, is that the government authorities, like the FEMA in Nigeria, they evaluate the damages, and the costs are usually passed to the insurance companies because they have to pay. So if a driver has a comprehensive insurance, for example, apart from the insurance company fixing his car, fixing all the damages of the third party, the cost of repairing of public properties, which is the road signs, traffic light, and everything, is part of what the insurance company also bear. So you see, rather than what obtains in Nigeria at the moment, whereby it is the government that have to fix all the damages that are done to road facilities, it shouldn't be so.
Even when the trailer
the
falls.
insurance companies need to be involved in that. And when the insurance company know that they have to be paying out a lot of money as compensation to fixing facilities that have been damaged, fixing this thing, then they will also join in the enlightenment of road users. You see, so it has to be a complete partnership. So partnership, that's PPP, private-public partnership, does not only involve, private partners are not only involved during the design and construction alone, but they are to be involved in the implementation. In the enlightenment, so that users, they will know that, look, if you damage government properties, we pay for it, but we are going to charge it into your premium, and your premium will definitely increase. So that way, everyone is involved in the sensitization of the populace. So it's very important. And then talking about private and public partnership, just like in other areas of our infrastructural development, we find that it's always government that has majority share in public partnership. My suggestion would be that government should have a lower stake in every partnership, say not more than 25%. That way, government will not be in control of the facilities, because so far, we discovered that anything that government is involved in usually don't come out right as expected. Road construction take 10 to 20 years. Lagos Ibadan Benin Express Road, they have been constructing it right from the time of, since 1999. It is never ending. They are still constructing it. They were constructing during the time of Yar'Adua. They continue constructing the same road during Jonathan. 6 years is already gone in Buhari regime. The road is not completed. Whereas China, for example, you go there, the same people who construct this thing, they are able to construct 1,000 kilometers of road within 1 year. How come they now come to Nigeria, they are taking 10 years to construct it and it's still not being completed? In other words, there's really something that an aspect that we really need to pay attention to. We all know the reason for that anyway. Every party that comes into power want to pass the project on to the next one, who will expand it, add more money, ask for budget review, pass it on to the next one, never completed. So there's no dedication to really see things work out properly. However, those are part of the human aspect that we really need to look into. So another aspect that I will want to talk about is, I've talked about effective insurance, partnership concession program with the government having the minimal share in every partnership they put their hand to, not majority, and then involving insurance companies in the enlightenment of users. And I've also talked about the offenses and punishment, whereby this lies solely on the commission that have been put in place, which is the Federal Road Safety Corps. How do they do their work? Do they just look at the other way and collect money, put it in their pocket? And also, the government has been talking about bringing in cashless society. Bringing in cashless society, but we still see that even government is still heavily involved in cash transactions. We've had payment of different projects to people, be it empowerment, and cash is being given out to people. So how does the government, how do I put it? How does the government support or enhance a cashless system that they've been talking about? They are not. So
when they cannot even handle themselves.
We really need to look, these are the things we need to look at so that we'll be able to mitigate and curtail the casualties we have on our roads.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, that is well detailed, and those are very important aspects that Nigeria needs to incorporate. There's no way we can become better if we're not doing certain things. We should not leave everything, our lives, our society, our people, the way we drive, what we do, our insurance, everything. People, you ask people in Nigeria, go and do your insurance. Oh, Holy Spirit is my insurance. It doesn't work like this. And you see that 95% of people in Nigeria only have third party. That's another very good part you have to look into, third party insurance. So the liability on the insurance company is very low. So at the end of the day, they are not bothered to really implement anything or to really investigate road accident, what causes it, and how to mitigate against that for their customers. And the government, who are meant to really regulate these insurance companies, are not anywhere. And when they come, they just word some silly rules and laws just to make it sound as if they are working. But once as an insurance company, you give them some money, they just shut up. They're not doing that. If you look at Nigeria now, well, even things like paying revenue to help, because that revenue is what helps us to grow. You see companies having tax certificates. Where it's coming from, you don't know. They never pay. They pay it into the private pocket of the revenue people. And these revenue people are so rich. So I think it still boils down to corruption. So corruption is on a high increase in Nigeria. Because of our time, we'll take the next question. So I'm going to ask Mr. Julius to please do justice to this. Do you think poor road signs, we've started on this, we've talked on road signs, is a problem in Nigeria, and how can we bring it to international standard? In the UK, you see what the road signs are and what they stood for and how is preventing road accident. How can this be gradually introduced into Nigeria? Like Mr. Okunola said, it's not that these things are not there. It's not that we don't know that we have to do it, but implementing it is the problem. We don't implement. Even when people see it, they don't even know what anything stands for because they didn't even go through any school or anything. They just drive. So how can we start to mitigate this?
Thank you, Abiola, and thank you, my listeners. Yes, I said poor road signs is a problem in Nigeria. It is a big problem. The reason why it is because we do not understand what it is. Most of us in the UK here, we don't even know how to drive, but we know what road sign stands for. We know where to cross, we know when not to cross. We have that morality to obey the instructions. We don't even need the police to tell us or the traffic person to tell us this is this. No. So we need that. It's a problem to Nigeria. We need to get away with it. The way we need to do that is now I would suggest a campaign, media campaign, that is announcing this on the radio. Have a special site in the radio where you talk about road signs. Tell people about road sign, what it is, how to cross, what to do, what not to do. That's number one. Awareness will bring us to that international standard. Again, the law. We need to obey our laws. We need to obey the police if the police could behave well. We need to obey federal road safety corps. We need to obey them. These are the people that will help us to meet the demands of our state for the future. Now, look at it this way. In 2050, Nigeria will be about 400 million. And we are now battling with road system, which we don't have. We are battling with poor road signs. What do we do when we become 22nd century, 2021? What will we do? So everything will fall apart. There will be more road, there will be more accidents. This is the time for us to, everyone to campaign. Now, road safety should work hand in hand with the State Ministry of Transport to educate the masses. They should work with state and local authorities, publish the accidents that happen on a particular road for this state so that people know. It gives them a signal. So if you do this, see where we end up. And the statistics will speak for every state, will speak for the federal, and you don't need anything. So here in England, here we are. Every local authority publishes their accident they have within their borough. Where is it in Nigeria? Where is it in the state? So everybody knows, but we don't know. So Nigeria leaves it. Poor road sign is a big problem. We need to educate our mind. We need to educate the people. We need to carry out a campaign to educate the masses. Now, in the process of campaigning, it will reduce corruption. It will reduce any outside business we are doing. Federal road safety should also know that it's not the social media that people listen very much. People are listening to them. They will be the one to tell the nation, yes, that this is wrong, that is wrong, but not to leave it with social media to tell us accidents have happened. Let the Federal Road Safety Corps in the state, in the federal, be able to say, this is the statistics, this is where we are, this is what we have done, this is the law. And anybody on a driver without the seat belt, without the helmet, should be prosecuted properly. And just involve yourself in corruption. No, don't involve yourself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Julius. I think this system has frozen a little bit, but what Mr. Julius was saying there clearly makes a lot of sense if Nigerians will listen and start formulating strategies to implement these changes. Because in Nigeria, we always wait for disaster to happen before we think about making changes. So the way to progress is put these things in place. The government will say, oh, when we put it in place, people don't obey. Or how do they obey if we don't have the right set of campaign, the right set of education to make people obey? If you think that, oh, I can drive, I don't really need to do any driving test, I don't really need to do any driving training, I can just everybody get on the street. If we keep doing things like a jungle, like we're in the jungle, what we get is jungle response. And what that means is that more and more of us will die. So we're going to go to the next question. I'll be taking on Mr. Okunola now so that we can address this issue. So the next question is about the roadworthiness of vehicles in Nigeria. I know, sir, that you've looked through it, you've addressed it in one of your responses. What is the current standard for roadworthiness in Nigeria? Do we even have a federal system? Because I remember when I was in Nigeria, there was a time I was working with Zenith Bank and I just bought a brand new suit. Well, it was a suit made in Nigeria for me, but it was looking good. And I had to take a bus from Costain to Pangrove. When I got to Pangrove, the whole of my trouser was completely torn of my lovely new suit. So if you see the state of, especially our commercial vehicles, the taxis, the buses on the street is deplorable. Even here, they can't use it to transport pig, not to talk of human being. So when we do this, which is what my mentality there is, oh, those ones are cheaper. If I have to call taxi, I have to pay like times 10 of what I'll pay on a bus. So could it be down to poverty? Could it be down to our mindset? Can any standard be put in place to say, oh, your tire has to be this? I remember we would patch our tires and patch it and patch it and patch it till even the tire we keep. You know, a lot of time accident just happen where the tire even come off the rim and things like that. How do we mitigate this? Could this be the ticking time bomb? Are we raising a country where death is so close to the door? All right, so I'll take you, Mr. Okunola.
Thank you very much, moderator. I will start by saying that accidents, they are predictable and preventable. And when we talk in terms of roadworthiness of vehicles in Nigeria, do we even have anything very close to what we can call roadworthiness in Nigeria? I don't think so. I stand to be challenged when it comes to this. And I'll give you one practical example. I remember some few years ago, there was this law that all vehicles in Lagos State should now have to go through MOT, yearly MOT. There were designated mechanical centers where you have to go and get the MOT, then they will issue you with a certificate. I think this thing worked maybe only for about 2 months or 3 months. What do we have today? And I will tell you this. I am planning to travel to Nigeria, and I have told my man in Nigeria, my vehicles, are they okay? He said, no, the vehicle particulars have expired because I have not been to Nigeria since COVID. I said, okay, go and renew them for me. He told me, so we have to do MOT and everything. I said, so where are you going to do the MOT? He said, no, we'll just pay in the local government and they use the certificate. I said, do you take the vehicle to the place? He said, no. We don't take the vehicle to the place. And that is Nigeria. He has already done that. He has collected the MOT without that vehicle or the vehicles leaving my garage. But we have MOT. If you look at Lagos, in Lagos, Oshodi to Apapa, where we have trailers, trucks, and every one of them littering the road now. If you look at the deplorable situation of all those trucks, you can imagine how has it gone that bad for this country for all these vehicles to be on the road. If there is anything like roadworthiness of vehicles, all those vehicles will not be on the road. At times I imagine when I go to Nigeria, I say, so how do we have all these good, nice cars in UK, in Europe, and in America, and we have all these dilapidated vehicles coming to Nigeria and being allowed? You will see a truck coming, and you will see or climbing a mountain, and you will see the loader or the agbero or something like that, holding something like a very thick, strong stick, like thick stick like this, that he will use to prevent that truck coming back from that mountain, and will be following it as it is climbing up. And that is Nigeria. If there is anything like roadworthiness, such trucks will not be on the road. There was the incident at Otedola Bridge, where a number of vehicles got burnt and a number of lives were lost. If there was anything that we can call roadworthiness, that would not happen. So all these things, they are time and ticking bomb. And we have the VIOs in Lagos, for example. I am very familiar with Lagos. I am very familiar with Abuja. We have the VIOs. You see them, their white uniform and everything. They will be parking all those vehicles. They will search for whether those vehicles are roadworthy or not. What happens at the end of the day? The ones that cannot pay them any bribe, they will take it to their own station. The ones that can give them bribe, they will release them, take them back to the road. So it is a real ticking time bomb. And that is why we have all this crisis. And you have all this, some of these cars, even some buses, they will not have any brake. If they take them to where they will do real MOT, you will discover that even cars, even our individual cars, some of them will not be on the road. One thing I do is like check all the tires, get me brand new. But what do we buy? We buy fairly used tires. Fairly used tires that they have even condemned in Europe. Those are the things we put on our cars. And because there is nothing in terms of going to do MOT to understand whether these tires are good or anything like that. You put them on the road and we have all these accidents. And those are the mechanical aspects of what causes this road pandemic and everything. So it is a real time, but what do we do in terms of how do we prevent this thing? Let us go back to the basics. We used to have all these things functioning. We used to have people going to the driving test centers. We used to have way load areas. When they constructed the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, before you put your truck on the road, you will go by the time you are getting to the toll gate, you park by the right, where they will look at the weight and everything like that, worthiness for that express road, and they will tell you the alternate road to take and everything. All those things are no longer available in Nigeria. And so these things are contributing to the rate of accidents in Nigeria. We need to go back. And how do we go back to this? The vehicles entering Nigeria, number of years that they have been. In UK, you see the vehicles and it's in terms of usage. You can buy a car 20 or 25 years ago, and the speedometer will still be 10,000, 5,000. But those that will come to Nigeria, you see them 250,000 miles, 180,000 miles. And those are the things we bring to Nigeria. So all these things, we have to look back. Let us have a reflection. And every one of us, we are responsible. Because look, I just want to go to that place. I want to be part of the system. I want to enjoy myself. I don't want anybody to trouble me and everything. You are ready to part with some amount of money when the policeman stops you. And the policeman is not even ready to do that, his job. He's not ready to know whether your road is worthy to be on the road or not. The VIO is not ready. The Road Safety Commission person is not ready. And that is what we talk in terms of accountability, responsibility, thinking of the consequences of our action. Then the regulatory body, are they doing what they are supposed to do? It's like a governor of a state will not be everywhere. We have the Ministry of Transport. We have the Ministry of Information. Let us start by educating our people. If your vehicle is not roadworthy, you are not going to put it on the road. Print this thing out in terms of leaflets, put it in different languages, in Igbo, in Yoruba, in Hausa, in Badagry, in any language that anybody will understand. Distribute it, go on air. Let people understand. We have the Ministry of Information in those days. Where is the Ministry of Information now in terms of education? You want to listen to jingles in those days. Then you want to listen to, you want to see on the road billboards. I remember when they constructed the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, there were all these signs, there were all these billboards, there were things they would put on the road that says many have gone through road accidents. Then you look at yourself, you be conscious of that. The vehicle you are driving, is it roadworthy? Are you supposed to put it on the road? The truck that is loading, is this? Look at accidents that we're having now. Most of them, they're caused by these trucks and everything like that, burning on the bridges and everything like that. Are they supposed to be on the road? No, these are all ticking time bomb. And I think the earlier we start addressing that, the better for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, so that covered everything. That really covered everything. That's comprehensive enough. And we have no other way around this. If we think that we are smart, or we think that, oh, it's just going to be okay, it's me driving, it's going to be fine. At the end of the day, we will just create more mess for ourselves. And looking at our road, we can see that this is a daily mess, because there are certain standards you have to keep to when it comes to your vehicle. People who make the vehicle didn't just make it on there so that you can use it like you're using a horse. And one of the points that I've taken on board on this as well is that part of the problem we have is that I think our road network are also overused. We don't use other networks in Nigeria. So here, if you go to farm, I live more on a countryside, I still see people riding horses in where I live now. People use horses, people use carts, drawn horses, and they use it to transport things from one place to the other. Where I live on the countryside. So having said that, we have train that is just beginning to pick up. People don't even want to go on train because we are afraid of security. We have phobia for it. We have ferry services also that runs from places like Orile to Marina and other. People don't want to go on it. People are too scared. We have aeroplane. I think in Nigeria, I think only about 2% of Nigerians, if not less than that, use aeroplane. They'll say, oh, because of the cost, they are scared and all that. So at the end of the day, things are not properly distributed, and our transport system is just in a mess. So we have to begin to address this issue, and we have to begin to look at the way forward. And based on all the contribution we've received today from our guests, it clearly shows that there's a lot that needs to be done. If not, things can only get worse. It cannot get better. So every individual, we need to respect the road. It's not just driving on the road. You need to show respect for the road, and that's the biggest problem we have. If it says 100 miles, 100 kilometers per hour, as it is in Nigeria, and you think because I've got a Range Rover, I've got a Bugatti or a Hummer Jeep, these are the things that drives us, not the road. We want to get on the street and do 250 miles an hour. There's a friend of mine that said, oh, I'm about to buy a new car. It's a new import from the US. It's a Tokumbo, very nice car. So I told him, what is the mileage? He doesn't even know what I'm talking about. Can you check what the mileage is? The mileage of this Toyota Camry, I think, is 520,000.
You see?
I've not had that before. It's only 520,000. What does it mean? He was asking me. So what? You are buying a coffin. What you are buying there is a coffin.
Yes.
That should have been scrapped long time.
Yes.
How can you buy a car 520 and you're happy that you're buying a car? One musician even sang there and said, you're buying a 150,000 car and you don't want it to stop in the night. You're deceiving yourself.
Yes.
We have to be mindful that we are not playing, we are playing with our lives when we take this kind of decisions, especially putting children and our elderly people on the road with this kind of conditions. In fact, you see most of the buses on our road, they don't even have speedometer. They don't even have nothing. The dashboard is gone. All we do, even some of them are using stick for steering. It's unbelievable. The level of risk we take, and then we still think that everything should be okay, you know? So we're going to take the next question. So I'll go to Mr. Julius now. Because of the time, we're trying to see if we can run this up by 2 o'clock on the dot. So should Nigeria review its speed limit? I know we've looked at this, but should they review it? Because at the moment now, if you look at the UK, in some areas we have 20 miles per hour. In some areas you have 30 miles. These things are calculated based on the number of accidents that's happened there, potential accident, the kind of road it is it country lane, is it motorway, is it a normal lane? How do we identify what speed to go in particular road? We know here when we're doing tests that if you see a pole, like a pole which shows the light, the street light pole, you know this is a 30 miles per hour road. Things like this are not, you don't even have street lights. How do you even see pole? I don't know. So how do we come into addressing this issue to ensure that we can reduce the risk to us? Every day our kids are killed. You come to a residential area and some stupid person is driving 100 kilometers per hour in a residential area just to show off. So how do we stem this tide, Mr. Julius?
Yes, Abiola, thank you very much. I will suggest Nigeria need to review their speed limit. And what is the actual speed limit we have? We need to find out. As I said before, and I keep saying, education is very important. Campaign is very important. Awareness is very important. Morality is very important. All this will help to reduce the rate of accident in Nigeria. I personally, I don't know the speed limit in Nigeria. Then how do you expect me to reduce the speed when I don't even know?
Everybody make up their own, that's it.
Yes, we need to put those things on the board. Signs and markings are very important. When I use this, State Ministry of Transport, Federal Ministry of Transport through their agencies and the Federal Road Safety Corps should be prepared to work to make sure that our speed limit is adhered to. We need to do all these things. We have gone to the stage that there is nothing we can do than to obey and do the right thing to do at the same time. Otherwise, our road, we need to review it in order to reduce the rate of accidents on the road. Signs, markings, there are several road barriers. Those things have to be obeyed. During the construction, I remember one of my colleagues said during construction, those things are part and parcel of what was given, what they said they would do, but yet it's not there. It's not there. For example, with Lagos alone and the Lagos population, those things are necessary. In every capital city of Federal Republic of Nigeria, the signs are important. It will help us to reduce the rate of road accident within the country. And remember, I said earlier, the reporting of road accidents helps to put the awareness into people.
Yes.
Lagos is a big state. Lagos is a very big place. Put the sign. Say this is the rate of accident within this month. We need to reduce it. Then the assignment, Federal Road Safety Corps will have a lot of job to do. They have to work hard. They will have to work with the Minister of Transport and then to do their job. I still say yes, Nigeria need to review its speed limit in order to reduce the rate of deaths on our road.
Thank you very much.
That's my take.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That's a very important contribution there from Mr. Julius. If we have to improve our roads, if we have to decrease the number of deaths, if we have to progress from here, our speed limit is very important. It's very important. And the speed limit is not to stop you from getting to where you're going. Some people say, they don't want me to arrive on time. Those police are trying to arrest me. Speed limit is there for police to arrest. It's not there. These things are there for you to stay alive. Because you see, the time, I remember an accident. This actually happened in Lagos, Ibadan Express Road. This family, he was coming with his wife. He was the one driving. The wife was on the other side. Well, the son was in front with him. This accident is on YouTube, actually, so it's something we all can view. His son was on the front with him. The wife was behind the son in the car, and he was driving. And this guy didn't realize there was a bend, and it was coming at about 150 miles an hour. It was really speeding. And a trailer was just, because of traffic after the bend, was just there. He just went straight under the trailer. You need to see, I mean, you don't even
Everybody went.
The son's brain was out of the car, the brain of the son.
Imagine.
The wife, you need to see, it was horrible. The wife and the son died instantly there. He was shouting, Jesus, what is this? I said, this has nothing to do with Jesus. It is your stupidity. Your stupidity. So we are so many stupid people on our street. We have to be careful. We have to sensitize and educate. When you're driving, you drive with everything. Your eyes, your leg, your mouth, your head, everything needs to be. You're not driving and you're completely distracted and you're speeding at that rate. It's going to lead to more death on our road. So for the sake of time, let's take the next question. I'll call on Mr. Chris to help us address this so that we can round up. So should Nigeria make it a criminal offense and the government charge when people die from deplorable roads? You know, the road is so bad now. How can we make that road better? Because I'll give an example. I mean, when I was in Nigeria, the road in front of my house was being constructed. I've done this a few times. See, and this, I'm talking of one of the biggest, I'm not going to mention them, but one of the biggest construction company. When you go out after the construction has just been done, you step on it, you start sinking. I don't know if anyone have noticed that. Your leg sinks into it. It's so soft that your leg sinks into it. So by the time they use that road for 3 months, pothole everywhere. Then if you look at the construction being done in the UK as an example, I tried it myself. I don't know if other people have tried. Put your leg after construction, it's hard like solid rock. Take a trailer on that, it's not going to sink. Why are we doing this quality of work in Nigeria? Should we have a body that investigate? Not that they've tarred the road, they've poured some black paint on it and that's it, and it's all done. And everybody keep their hand and say, yeah, the thing is done. So how do we address this issue? Mr.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Yeah, you see, the question you just asked I can see that it ties in with the last two questions.
Yes.
So on that basis, I will just throw a bit light on the last two questions, which Mr. Amadi and Mr. Akinyemi, I believe, answered. I will tie everything together. Now, the first question is, do we have laws that takes care of road construction and road usage in the country Nigeria? My answer is resounding yes, though the laws might not be enough or adequate, but at least we have something that is operable. Now, so why are there no effective implementation of the laws? The operational word I want you to note there is effective. Why are there no effective implementation of those laws? Why do the people who have been commissioned to implement those laws, why are they not doing their work properly? I will give you a very raw and clear answer to that. It's because of what we call, most of us will have heard the balance that says, Oga at the top. Majority of those people that have been commissioned to implement those laws that are out there on our roads, both those constructing and those that are to implement the usage, they have target amounts that they have to deliver to the Oga at the top. So now, no matter how good users decide to use the road, they will always find fault just to extort money from you so they can meet their target to deliver to the Oga at the top. Until the greediness and the selfishness of those at the top are dealt with, there will be no effective implementation of our law system. That brings me to the issue of speed limit, which Mr. Amadi addressed. You see, we know that when we are traveling, take for example, Lagos to Ibadan, and you encounter police roadblock, even if you are driving at the right speed, you are flagged down. They check all your particulars. Is intact. Irrelevant and unrelated questions will be the next question. The next thing, they start searching what they are not supposed to search. Why are you traveling? And start asking personal questions. All is just to look for a fault for you to get into argument with them. And then the next thing, they want your key. They want to take you to the police station, and they know what's going to happen. So whereas someone will come drunk, as long as he points out the 15 naira, they let him go. In other words, those people who are out there to implement the law effectively, as long as there's a target for them to meet, a financial target for them to meet for those at the top who posted them there, whether the speed limit becomes 0, you will be charged for why are you driving at 0 miles per hour?
Yeah.
If you are going at 100, you will be charged. Why are you overspeeding? If you are going at 50, you will be charged. Why are you running 50? So, because they just look for excuse. So yes, it's good to reduce the speed limit in recognition of the potholes and the bad, deplorable conditions of our roads. But those people that are supposed to effectively implement those laws, so long as they have other motives for being there, the casualty numbers will not change. So it's going to be addressing that issue of speed has to come from the top downwards. I recognize the fact that road users' enlightenment is very key. It's very key, but we really need to look at that. Now, to the question you asked last, should Nigeria make it a criminal offense and government charge when people die from deplorable roads? The government in any climate is already responsible
for the road,
for that, for any issue. But the government cannot bring charges against itself. That is why insurance companies have to come in, because insurance company, being a corporate entity, are in a position financially, legally, to charge the government to court and say, because you did not construct the road properly, this accident happened. But individuals, you and I, we don't have the connection. Neither do we have the financial muscle to take a government to court to charge. Either the government, because the money is free for the minister to use, he pays for all the senior advocates on the bench. You don't even have money to pay for the lowest legal practitioner. You have no chance. So, but when we empower the insurance system in the country, they will be in a good standing to confront the government and charge them where they have failed in their responsibilities to provide good and well-maintained road facilities. Yes, the government should be charged for criminal offenses, but individuals, I don't think, with the system that we operate in the country as of today, individuals are handicapped to be able to do that. So it's the insurance company. When insurance company knows that they have to pay out maybe 20 million naira every day for repairs, for claimants, then they will be prepared to hold the government at their throat and to put pressure on them to put the road appropriately. So yes, I agree, the government should be charged, but to do that, we have to empower our insurance policies and insurance system. And of course, to be able to do that effectively also, we have to bring in private and public partnership to bear on our projects.
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful contribution there. And I think Mr. Chris analyzed it in depth. What we've looked at so far is the pandemic rate of road accidents in Nigeria, because at the moment it's a pandemic. We've looked at how to avert further disasters, and we've looked at several things that needs to change. And the mindset from people individually, the government, it has to go round. So we've looked at that in depth, and we've had our guests, Mr. Chris and Mr. Julius, Mr. Okunola, helped to dissect this in. So if you want to listen to this, it will be available online. So if you go to Mogbede Radio TV on YouTube, it's available there. On Facebook as well, Mogbede Radio TV on Facebook as well. We also have our website. So if you want to listen to us, which is www.radio.mogbede.co.uk. You can also download our app. Our app is available. Because of the time, we need to be rounding up now. There's another program that needs to go live on the radio. So I'm just going to take Mr. Okunola to give us a final pick and just to run things up within about 2 minutes so that the next live program can take place. So can we give a final suggestion of how Nigeria can curtail the current pandemic rate of road accidents in Nigeria? Just a final pick, sir.
Let me end this thing by quoting Nigeria's current Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Ehanire. He said, life is not a car part. That is, there is no spare part for anybody that is dead on the road. And that is why I earlier said, road accidents in Nigeria, they are very predictable and they are preventable. It is already a criminal offense in Nigeria for anybody that's killed anyone through a road accident. Section 20 and 21 of the Federal Road Safety Commission, Establishment Act 2007, put it there that it is 7 years without an option of fine if there is a death, if a careless driver should kill someone. Then, if there is no death through any road accident injury, there is 50,000 naira fine or 2 years imprisonment, or both fine and imprisonment. So the law is there. Do they execute it? Do they implement it? Is what we don't know. I will give you an example of the late Air Force pilot, Arotile, that died last year. The boy that drove that vehicle had no driver's license. The case is still there. We wouldn't know the outcome. So that is to say that the law is there. It is in terms of implementation that we have issues.
Struggling with,
And I have said, all these road accident, pandemics and everything in regard to the number of deaths through accidents in Nigeria, our transportation, should we have to rely on road to transport a lot of things? They are now reactivating trade. We have the sea. We can transport something from Lagos to Port Harcourt, to Ondo, through
to Calabar.
Will everybody have to go by road from mile 2 or Festac Amuwodofi to Apapa or to Ikoyi? No. There used to be ferries, Itafaji and Babakekere by Jakonde. Where are they? Let us, I remember I used to, when I was on leave then at the Federal Secretariat, I used to go on those ferries to enjoy myself, because you enjoy the jokes and everything when you are on the ferry and you don't even know you are traveling. We can reactivate all those things. It is very expensive to travel by air, but we can train. And in terms of carrying all the goods, because most of the accidents on the road, we have all these trailers. They because they are not repaired, because they are not roadworthy, they park up on the road, and there are no road signs. There is nothing indicating that there is an accident ahead of you. And so when you are coming, you just run under. At night, there is no lights, there is no vision. The vision is poor and everything. You don't know. There are no road marks. All these things we can go back to. When they constructed Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, there are road signs. There was a speed limit. You can always know how long it will take you from Lagos to Ibadan. That was when I became conscious that we have 60 miles per hour. In Ekiti and all around that place, they will tell you 35 miles per hour. They will tell you the mileage. All those things are no longer there. We can go back to that, to the basics. Education, information, and discipline on our own side as individuals. When we expect government to act, government should do what they're supposed to do in terms of law and everything. On the individual, on the human aspect of it, let us be responsible. Let us be disciplined. Let us be accountable. Let us respect other road users. Drinking alcohol is inimical. It's contraindication to driving. Let us stop that. Our maintenance of vehicles, let us ensure that we maintain our vehicles so that there won't be mechanical problem on the road. People should not put urine inside brake oil. They are very dangerous. These are all the things that we do. Then when the weather is bad, let us know that we have to reduce our speed. We cannot continue on 120, 100 when the weather is bad, knowing fully well that we have potholes and everything on the road. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think that really summarizes everything. So Mr. Okunlola, I've looked at it and dissected everything that we've talked about today, and that brings it to a conclusion. So I want to say a big thank you to all our guests today, to Mr. Chris Osayiwo for coming, Mr. Julius Amadi, and Mr. Okunlola for a wonderful, wonderful contribution.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate your coming today. So to everyone listening, this is The Perspectives, your Mogbede Radio TV. So Mogbede Radio TV is available worldwide. You can download the app on the Android market. You can go to radio.mogbede.co.uk if you want to listen online. You can also listen live on YouTube, Mogbede Radio TV, or live on Facebook on Mogbede Radio TV. This is a weekly program. We do it from 12 to 1 every Saturday. A few times, because how interesting the contributions are, we sometimes go past the timing, but we try to keep it at 1 hour as a benchmark. So for everyone that's joined us today, we say thank you. If you have any questions for my contributors today, please send it to us. We would surely respond to you if you have any questions. So we try to have our guest in the first 3 weeks of the month. The last week of the month, we welcome contributors. So you all be with us on Zoom on the 4th edition. So I want to say a wonderful thank you for everyone that's still on with us and for all our contributors. I hope we all have a fantastic weekend and the rest of next week. I will see you again on Saturday. And I say goodbye. And again, happy Democracy Day, because today is Democracy Day. Today is June 12th. So it's a wonderful day for Nigeria. It's a day of memory. We all remember MK Abiola. He fought the struggle but died. So we use today to remember him. So to all Nigerians that are celebrating, rioting, and some of them are protesting here and there, we wish everybody best of luck. Just keep safe and do everything safely. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, my colleagues. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.